So I had a thought earlier today while reading this card right here, Saint Charlos. Why is nobody playing the Celestial Dragon cards? I mean, at first glance, this effect looks broken. If all of your cards on the field are Celestial Dragons, then all your opponent's characters get -4 to their cost, especially powered with Rosward. This card is crazy. If you have these two on the board, all of your opponent's characters have -10 cost. That means almost any card in the game can clear them. And when paired with a card like Rob Lucci, who can attack every single time a character's KO'd by one of your cards, you can end up with a way to get rid of the downside of the Celestial Dragons of these guys can't swing. But if you can swing twice with your leader every single turn for no Dawn cost, that's pretty good. And your removal cards are going to be cards like Finger Gun and Meteor Volcano and Side Slicer. I bid 500 million. This card is incredibly flexible, especially because it says that you can return stuff to its owner's hand or put it at the bottom of the life. This allows you to put back Sabos into hand if they can't be KO'd, or if you're up against Yellow-Black Luffy, you can put cards in their life to really make it awkward for them to try to get back up to the level they need to be at to activate their leader effects. And then you have this new card that's coming out in '07 called Iron Body. And this card is really good. It gives you so much survivability, especially because you're always going to have 10 or more cards in your trash because of your leader effect and cards like Finger Gun, which are just going to fill it up so quickly because you're using your leader effect so often. And then I'm also running characters like Bartolomeo, One-Legged Soldier, and Shirahoshi. All of these cards are 2Ks with slightly relevant effects, like Bartolomeo is a blocker, which does not get in the way of my Celestial Dragons, because on their turn I can just use this to block even like a 5K just to make sure it's off my board, so my Celestial Dragons will activate again. A card like One-Legged Soldier, because he gets rid of himself, so I can use this to -3 cost if I need to like push that little extra distance to get into a range like Sky Slicer or Meteor Volcano, which, because once this is off the board, my Celestial Dragons will still go, and I still get the nerf from One-Legged Soldier. And then Shirahoshi here, this card is less relevant than the other two, but into a matchup like Nami, where they always have a bunch of events and super relevant cards to their strategy in their hand, this can really hurt. Because if you can get them to get rid of an event that furthers their game plan, or even a character that they really want to play, it can be very valuable. But most of the time, this is going to be a 2K. I think the overall power level of this deck is quite middling. This deck is not playable at a regional level, and as far as it goes for locals, you could definitely top a local. I don't know about a super competitive local, because this deck does have its problems. The main one being you are going to run out of cards in your hand so quickly, which is assisted by a lot of your triggers being draws like Meteor Volcano and Tempest Kick, and even Six King Pistol for that part, but and Barrier. But you're going to run out of cards very quickly because you're trashing 2 almost every single turn with your leader, and it just ends up being a little too much for the hand. 5 life definitely helps because that's 5 more resources that you get instead of like 4, for example. But I think this deck is a little weaker than I'd like it to be. It is a ton of fun, though. I'd recommend everybody give this a try. The deck is also dirt cheap. I think for this whole thing, it was like maybe $12 for the entire deck. It's ridiculous. And if you want Alt Art Leader because Alt Art Rob Lucci is beautiful, it's like $45 for the entire deck with an Alt Art Leader. I mean, this deck is dirt cheap, and I will definitely be trying it at locals once OP07 drops because of this Iron Body card. So I will probably be posting a video on that, so look forward to it. And let's get right into the games. And into the first game, we're up against OP07 Bonnie. Bonnie is a little annoying for this deck because she can rest my Celestial Dragons, which make them easy to kill, but not a super relevant effect. The more relevant part is the 5 life part, which is really, really annoying for us. So in your opening hands, you always want a Celestial Dragon. If you can't see the Celestial Dragons in the early game, your entire strategy falls to pieces. It is so difficult to like keep a board going if you don't have these Celestial Dragons on the field. The dream is having this on 1 into Rosalind on 2, because you can play, because that card will control the entire early game. Unless you're up against like a Bonnie, for example, who is going to stop us from having fun by killing our Celestial Dragons. But let's see if we can't get it done anyways. A lot of searching going on turn 1 here, and he's just going to go 5. We're going to take this first one. I am actually going to use this trigger effect and KO the Bonnie. We do not want him finding any 10-cost Dophies, which means I should have killed this one, but I digress. 10-cost Dophie is going to be the killer of this deck. If they can freeze your leader, which is your entire source of damage from moving, you're in for a rough time. You're in for just a genuinely super rough time. This deck super relies on your leader swinging, which is why green cards like Arlong are especially brutal, because they just stop your leader from swinging. No chance. Shirahoshi, not Shirahoshi, but Shiraya is also very good against this deck because you're swinging so high with your leader literally every single turn. You can end up in a spot that doesn't end up being great. This Cavendish card has to be removed. That card is an incredibly big threat. And also for this deck, you should counter out while you can, especially because late game it becomes so hard to keep cards in your hand, which means if you can take that life with no downside, it's pretty nice. And there's the 10-cost Dophie. Just reminding me of my mistake not to kill the baby 5, but that's fine. So I could actually go 9 and 9 here and put him at 2 health unless he wants to counter out, which I think is what I'm going to do. And because he didn't leave a Dawn up, he can't even rest my Celestial Dragon, which was a massive misplay on his part. So let's just go attach 4, swing here. And to my knowledge, there are no green triggers that would kill this Charlos, which would be the only thing preventing my play. And then, yep, we're going to meteor this, use this card action, and in this particular spot, 3 in the grave, I don't really like Barrier or Bartolomeo. So just get rid of Bartolomeo and his move. But this is super annoying for our opponent, because every single turn being able to swing just so high with our leader is very, very strong. Like, I think they are going to realize here very shortly they have to lead a Dawn up to rest my St. Charles. This is such a big thing they need to be resting. If they can rest my Celestial Dragons, it is so easy to just wipe them off the planet. They're actually going to get out of this on turn 2 here, or turn 3, I should say. Our hand is looking pretty weak. We're kind of running out of good removal. Finger Pistol and I Bid 500 million are good. They are good removals, but they're kind of expensive compared to like a Meteor Volcano or like a Sky Tempest Kick. But hopefully he'll be swinging in a little bit here, and I can just use an excuse to draw some cards. Okay, there's my second one. Rosward is not looking like the play. I think so far he's looking more like leader fodder than anything, especially with the ability to rest. See, the second Miragwazi is definitely leader fodder. That is not good. Now, this is a tricky part about playing this leader, because if I just swing here and he blocks, I get to restand, but I don't get the clear value of swinging of him having to counter out or take 2 hits. But I think we're just going to swing 4 and see what they do. I'm doing 4 so I can play a St. Roswald. Rosward, I should say. And then if they choose to block here, that's fine. If they don't, that's also fine. Okay, they're gonna choose not to block. Which is a slight misplay, I believe. I'm gonna go... I bid, kill this. Use card action. And then we're really putting them in a bad spot. Yep. So I'm in a position to swing for game next turn, which is just so good. I am very weak though. I essentially need to kill him next turn, because if he drops that 10-cost Dofi and starts swinging with it, I am in trouble. That 10-cost Dofi is going to rip me a new one, which does change my play a little bit. I could maybe play the Rosword after I swing with my leader to leave myself open to finger gun the 10-cost Dofi when it comes out, but that still puts me so far behind on board. Obviously, best case scenario is swinging for game, but with 10 cards in hand, it's not looking likely, and we know he has at least one 2K because he searched that Viola. And most of the Supernova cards are 1Ks. And a lot of the Doflamingo Pirates are also 1 and or 2Ks. That deck has a lot of 2Ks in it. So it's quite interesting to see. More than likely, I'm not getting game. I think I just need to... Yeah, this is a really tricky spot. And I get another Rosword. It's just tough. This is just tough. Yeah, I bid 500 million. It's just not what I need here. I can swing 7 here and see what he does. Okay, he's just going to counter out pretty easily. Now I will just... It's a tricky play. I think no matter what I do, I have to play the Rosword here. And then I will play the bid. I see. So I actually didn't play around Hawkins. I did not read this card effect, and that's a good lesson. Read your card effects. So I'm actually just going to put this in hand. It's removed from play, not KO'd. So here today is why you're going to learn to read your card effects. I didn't know what it did, and then I misplayed, and then I misread it again. So this is actually I actually did that on purpose as an instructional part of the game. Read your cards. Because it can come back to bite you. I also don't know why I left one Dawn up. This was not a well-played game by me. He is thinking, probably because he's never seen this effect actually go off. I mean, what even gets rid of this? Gravity Blade and Red Hawk, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I'm just gonna pass. It's a pretty shameful pass. Iron Body would be live if I left one more active. Don't know why I didn't. Yeah, it was just not a good play. Not at all. She's probably debating 10-cost Dovi here. 10-cost Dovi probably just is the game. I'll be honest. I don't think I can weasel my way out of that one. I didn't realize how good this effect was against the Celestial Dragons. Just being able to make my Celestial Dragons open to be swung at is so bad. I mean, this is just not what I'm looking for. He's actually not going to go for it. He's just going to swing at the Celestial Dragon, which is fine. It's an interesting line to take. He knows I have 3 cards in hand. But I don't know. I think swinging 2 there is completely fine. And he plays another Hawkins. This game is probably just over. I don't think I can come back from just the onslaught of Basil Hawkins here. They really did find the gold mine card and played it, which is fine. I mean, the game's the game, and that is not what we wanted to see. So I think what I need to do here is I think I just need to be going for game the best I can. Maybe I leave it up to play Barto and go 10 and 10 potentially. I think I am going to look to play the Barto here. And if he gives me like a Hawkins and then counters out, which is his best play. This play is pretty reliant on him just giving me a Hawkins and taking it, which would be a massive misplay because that leaves me to reopen Lucci effect. Give it to me. I very strongly doubt it. With 7 cards in hand and he knows he's swinging for game next turn. Yeah, that's just not happening. Getting rid of the 10 cost OV, so he knows where he stands this game. And then I am going to play the Bart and we're going to pass. So I have a 6k and 3 1ks in my hand, and I can take 1 hit. If they completely blunder here and do not what they need to, I'm in chilling. But if they have like... I'm pretty sure Hody Jones wins no matter what. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I don't know what card would save me. Off trigger, a Sky Tempest trigger would be pretty awesome. The one that draws 2 cards. I'd also take a Meteor Volcano trigger. That would be pretty hype. But with 5 cards in hand in such a dominant board position, they have to be going for game here. I mean, there's no way they're not. They're thinking pretty hard though. 5 lead? That seems like such a massive misplay. Unless you are playing a 10 cost card. I think I just... Do I just give him the Barto? I think I just give him the Barto here. This is a tricky spot. I think I'm just going to give him the Bart here. If he goes here, I'm just going to take... Wow, I have just been getting these Charlos, and that is the game. That's game over. Nothing I can do about that. Wow, brutal. I don't think anything in the world saves me now. I mean, I need a miracle. I can do 4, 2, 2, kill this, restand. No, but then I just die to the Hawkins. Because he can just rest one of my Celestial Dragons and I can't kill it. Yeah, that's going to be game over. They had Hody Jones in hand. This card right here, Rosinante, also destroys this deck. Being able to protect your 5 costs from being killed is very strong. And I didn't even realize how strong this Basil Hawkins was, so let's see if we can have some luck next game. Alright, and here we go. We're up against a Marco in game 2 here. I have not personally played this matchup, but I can't imagine it's very bad, because he's kind of he's minusing the power on my characters, but they're already 0, so big whoop. Then he's just cycling out his hand. I also think the design of this card is very funny, because they essentially just put Sakazuki effect on the 2 worst colors, and that balanced out the effect. I mean, you're cycling through your hand, and then minusing cost wouldn't really make sense for red or blue, so you're minusing power for the red side of it. This is just red and blue Sakazuki. I mean, there's no other way to put it. That's just what this is. And because it is on the 2 worst colors, it's a balanced leader. I think that's very funny. But let's see if the Hankas at Sea can keep up with our Celestial Dragons. Marco also makes for a very aggressive leader because you can be swinging so much. I will be taking this hit because I want to try to find my Roslins, or just, a Celestial Dragon would be nice. Because then I could actually start swinging. Bang! That's exactly what we wanted, was a Rosward. I always call him Rosalind because that name makes more sense in my head. But Rosward, this was so good off of life. We get to be so ridiculously Dawn efficient here, which is, I'll be honest, not very common for this deck. He also countered out of the first hit, which is not usually what happens. It's a very interesting card. I don't think I've ever seen it. But if he swings 6, I'll counter out. But if he swings more than that, I will take. I don't want to commit more than I have to. Oh, and another relevant thing. You draw the card first, so you even get to... So it's even slightly better than Sakazuki's effect in that way, because you get to see what you get before you put stuff away. So that's particularly relevant. He is going all in here. Wow. That's brutal. I have nothing to use my leader effect on. Okay, I guess we're gonna swing 9. Or do we swing 8 and play the Barto? He's going so aggressive, I might have to. What if he's not gonna play any characters? Crazy to think this Marco player might actually have matchup experience, in which is just, he can just hit my guy in the face and there's nothing I can do about it, because my deck kind of revolves around clearing stuff. Most of my hand is just dead. It's just flat out dead. Now it's awkward because I have to give him this, otherwise my Rosword effect is not going to be up. This guy's playing very well into my deck here. If this character were KO'd by your opponent's effect, you may place this card into the trash and then draw 1. That seems like an awkwardly specific effect, but what the hell do I know? So we're going to be playing... I believe we're just swinging 10 twice here. Just going to go 10. Kill this ace. Go 10 again. No real downside. Having this Rosword down so early is making it to where pretty much nothing that this deck's going to play is going to stick around on the board. He's just going to take it. I'd be surprised if he had a choice. Use card action. Charlos is actually a little dead here. I'm actually going to get rid of him. Most of my hand is going to be consistently better than that. Especially because I think against this aggro deck, a -6 cost is going to do just fine against most of it. And if he does play like a Whitebeard or something, I can just finger gun. I think I am in a very good spot here. I'm not leaving any Dawn up for any shenanigans, which is probably not great. I should probably start leaving Dawn up for cards like Barrier. I am not going to take this hit. I have no reason to. I have removal in my hand, so... And I've got my Celestial Dragon now, so I'm not looking for anything. Taking that would just be getting him close to the win condition. Yep, it's really hard to resist playing a card there. The correct play is just to swing really big here. Because if I kill this, it doesn't count for my KO. So the absolute correct play for him here is to just swing really big with these two all the time. Because that doesn't... It just completely nullifies my leader effect. That does suck a little bit. I did forget about this card, even though I just looked at him get it. It's just gonna go 5. I'll take this hit. Hey, that was a really, really good trigger. It got rid of the blocker that was gonna be in my way. Wow, that was really good. Okay. Now I can just go 13 and 13, and it forces him to counter out. Because I'm still not scared of being dead, I don't think. Yep, just go 13. The smart play for him would be to counter out of this hit, but obviously it's not up to me. Rad Beam. Did not realize that deck would double Rad Beam. Okay, that's really good to see gone, though. Sure. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to... I believe we're just going to pass. I don't have a reason to do anything crazy here, I don't believe. We got a lot of counter out of their hand right there. I could go Meteor Volcano. I don't believe it's the right play, though. I think I want to try to leave open Barrier here. Because there is a very slight... Wow. Oh my god. Okay. Just gonna take that hit. No trigger on that. Iron Body's really good for survivability. That sucks, though. That hurt a lot. I'll be honest, I don't really see a way around this one. I think I just have to go game. I mean, what else do I do? I can kill the Whitebeard. Yeah, I can kill the Whitebeard and go face for 6 twice. Or 7 twice, I mean. I can go face it for 8 twice, I suppose, because I can go 3, 4, and then leave 3 up for Barrier and Iron Body. Okay, let's do that. So let's kill this. Don't use card. Oh, I messed up. Wow, okay. I cannot believe I messed that up. Yeah, she's gonna 2k out. I should live this turn, though. I mean, I can't imagine I'm dead. That'd be crazy. Another blocker would hurt pretty bad. I'll admit. Rush Zoro also is not great. I'll admit that too. Go 6 King Pistol. I do need to take a hit here to open the door for to try to get a removal card. Why did he not do this? Interesting. Let's go 15 cards. That's only 13. So I actually have messed this up. And then I have Iron Body in hand, so I'm not taking this hit. Unless he goes 2 on this and swing, or 3 on this and swings. Yeah, no blocker. Iron Body out. Okay, 2 on this would have worked. Damn, I didn't get it. This draw was really bad. This was a really bad draw. So, what is my win con here? I need to go... He's got 3 up. What do I even think he has? 1, 2, 3, 4... I can't even use Lich Effect. Didn't even realize that. I guess it's just... No, there's no way I live, right? I guess my best course of action is to see if I can't catch him with no counter in hand. I think that's my only option, though. I have to swing for game with a Celestial Dragon. I mean... There's no way he doesn't have it. Oh, we actually got him with a Celestial Dragon. What is this hand? We swung for game with Saint Rosward. What in the world? 2 Rayleighs in hand, a Sanji, and an Ace. No way. I thought for sure he'd have a Rad Beam. How crazy is that? Especially on the draw, too. This card, oh my god. If I take this hit, this trigger wins me the game. If I would have played this differently, I could have just won the game. Oh my god. What a crazy ending to that game. No cards in hand on the Rosward. That's nuts. And thank you everybody for checking out these 2 games with me today. I really hope this was able to showcase how fun this deck can be. That last game was crazy, especially with that ending. The first game really showed some of the weaknesses of this deck that I really liked showing off. I don't want to make a deck seem stronger than it is. This deck is not good enough to win a tournament. Your problem matchups are so ridiculously bad. It's absurd. Especially, I haven't personally played into black very much, but into like into Gecko, your cards just can't stay on the board because Absalom just gets rid of them for free. It's not great, I'll admit. Same thing with Red Purple Law. Red Purple Law will just get rid of these cards. Literally for free. There's no downside to him to get rid of these cards. Use leader effect, get them off the board. See you later. Bye bye. That's it. But I think outside of that, it's really fun. I really hope to see more support for these cards because they're super sick. Their effects are really, really unique and unlike really anything else in this game. And I would love to see more effects, like maybe Celestial Dragon Searcher. That would be really nice, so you don't just have to hard mulligan to start with one of these 2 cards and pray. Maybe a leader that really helps support these. Luigi is great, but he has a really, really big downside of no cards in hand. That got showcased really well in both of those games. This deck runs out of cards because you have to use 1 card to clear a card, and then 2 cards to restand, and then that doesn't include the 1 card, the 1 or maybe even 2 Celestial Dragons you played out of your hand. So you could be lining up into 4 card commitments to clear 1 card, which is just not good enough. But this deck is a ton of fun. I would 100% give it a try, even if it's just for 1 or 2 games. And I will 100% be playing this deck when OP07 drops. And I hope I've inspired someone to try it too. And I will also hope to see you next time.